Hello, traders. Welcome to the Liquidity Narrative, our channel where we map liquidity first and we choose structure over speculations in those channel. As you can know, every Sunday we map liquidity, we build your institutional roadmap for the week ahead. And starting with Nasdaq, as always, what our expectation? What are the things we are looking at? Where is liquidity? Where is our draw on liquidity? Using purely price action, no indicator required. So starting with the Nasdaq, as you can see, we are already on 50 minutes time frame or charts. Last week we mapped our liquidity and what price did. So price has been on the upside, as you can see. We've mapped some level that we are looking at price to return. Remember, the new week is starting today, which is Sunday, and also the new month is starting tomorrow, which is the 1st of June. So there will be a lot of some things that price will do in the market or chart will do. A kind of pull back in the opposite direction before price could continue in a direction. That being said, okay, let's watch out what our expectation on Nasdaq. First, we move over to dollar index because Nasdaq, like we said, we don't have any historical chart to guide us on what we are looking at on price. But then there's always something that the market will give you. The institutional traders will leave something behind that will be a guide. Let's use our dollar index as a big guide for our Nasdaq. So here on dollar index, if we move to the daily time frame, what has price been doing? As at last week, price tapped into this gap and kind of respect this gap. Will this gap be respected or will price continue to go down? Yes, price will continue to go down, but then we want to see price respecting this gap by going up at least to respect this other block before it will continue to go down. That's our expectation on dollar index. But before then, as price is going up to respect this other block, we want to see Nasdaq also moving down to respect those areas we've moved out. For the month of June, Nasdaq is still on the bullish run for the month of June using seasonal tendency. But then where are the areas we are watching price to take a break? Like we said, it's like you driving a car. You always need to at some point take a break, fuel your car before you continue your journey. So is the market, or you are selling some goods in your shop. You have shop or services you're rendering. At some point, you have to restock your shop to keep it attracting new customers. The same way, this. So we put it into also in this perspective. The chart is also needs for this institutional traders needs some places to take a break before they will continue in the directions. So those are the areas we've mapped out on our chart. If we start on the daily time frame, we've mapped out this gap as area we're looking at price. If it's going to continue to go up, at least to take a break at this level. It might not apparently get to this down levels, but we're expecting price at least to respect those levels at some point before it could continue to go up. Having said that, so let's drop on a lower time frame to see clearly on the areas we've mapped on Nasdaq. So if we move down to the 50-minute time frame, this is what we had as at last week. We had price creating this high, a new high, as at last week. So we mapped the levels we are looking at where liquidity pools lies in the market. This is the area on the daily time frame, which is a gap. We are looking at price to apparently return to take a break. Like we said, the dollar index, as the dollar index is moving to the other block on the upside, we want to see Nasdaq at least dropping down to take a break at this level. So we said liquidity lies here. There's liquidity here. There's liquidity here. There's liquidity here. But will price get to all of them? Price doesn't necessarily need to get to all of them. So, but we want to see price coming to those levels, and then we watch the action of price, which what we call the price action, to see exactly what the market is doing there, to see if we are going to take the trade higher or if we are going to let it to slide to go down more. So these are the areas we are looking at on the Nasdaq, but our draw on liquidity still remain on the upside. This is our draw on liquidity. The liquidity pool, we are expecting price to at least run down to these levels that we mapped out on our chart as a liquidity pool, the areas where liquidity pool lies. Remember, the month is just starting. Price might drop even more to this level before going up, but then our draw on liquidity remain on the upside on Nasdaq, which is USD. But we moved at this levels to see exactly what price is going to be doing at those level before we could decide to join the trade. Remember, these are the roadmap, the institutional roadmap for you to use as a guide on your trading. We watch this level and see what price we do. Price may apparently get to this level, even this level. So that's it. We keep our eyes on this level and then our drawn liquidity remain the upside, just like we said. All right. So that hasn't been said on Nasdaq and dollar index. Our next pair will be on the British pound USD. This is British pound USD. Let's start from the weekly time frame as we still have our dealing range on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, on sorry, not trying to leave cancel. On the weekly time frame on British pound USD, let's give it up. Make our chart a bit higher, bolder and clearer to give us a clear view on what we are looking at. We've done our accountability review as at last week what happened. So we've taken out some things out of the market. As at last week, the price reacted into this fair value gap on the weekly time frame. What are we looking at? This is what we have. We still have a dealing range on the weekly time frame. Our new dealing range becomes this high and then this low. We are looking at what happens here before we can talk about the other one. So focusing on this particular level, what is price doing? Where was price coming out from? And what is the next action of price? Price filled this fair value gap on the weekly time frame, and apparently we still have some levels on the upside that price may actually get to. What will price do? Will price return back? Will price go up? So let's drop on the daily time frame for a clearer view of what we're expecting of price. Within this daily range, within this dealing range, price apparently is on a discount, but might have more discount down, but has filled the fair value gap. So we drop on the daily time frame. What are our expectation? What are we looking at on price? This is what price did as at last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what we had as at last week. So price apparently run to this level and get back on the other block on the daily time frame. Kind of give respect to that other block on the daily time frame. And then this is what price closed at as at Friday. Was price reacting out as at Friday? Nothing yet, but we had this candle. Price came back as at Thursday, respected this other block on the daily time frame. So the question next is, where are we looking at price to be drawn to? Our draw on liquidity on the daily time frame remain this level, these highs. We want to see price run to this high. Will it be this week? We wish, but then let's watch what price will be doing this week. So our draw on liquidity remain this size. If price continue to go up, we expect price to maybe get to this other block on the daily time frame before the other block on the weekly time frame. So these areas are the areas we are looking at price to draw to. But first, this high is our draw on liquidity before we can determine if price will continue to go up. Then the next question is, where our liquidity pools? You know, institutions require this liquidity pools to run price. Let's drop on our lower time frame, maybe the 15-minute time frame, and watch the areas we've mapped out to see what price is doing or what we expect price to do. So we've mapped those levels as our draw on liquidity. First, we map this level as a first draw on liquidity. Price might run this level and change, or price might continue to go to this level, or even this other block again, retesting it for the second time. So these are the levels we're expecting, or we are looking at price to get to. It might not get to this level, but there is a liquidity pool on this. So we mapped out all the liquidity pools that we are seeing, and watch out to see what price we do and the days and the time of the day. So we watch those levels to see what price is going to do. These are the areas liquidity lies. We want to see price respecting these levels to give us an entry in this level. Remember, our draw on liquidity remains the upside on British pound USD. But first, we want to see price get down before going to those level, or apparently just like last week, price might run to the draw on liquidity first before coming down to this liquidity pools. But we watch this level to see exactly what price is going to do to give us an entry pattern or an entry style depending on what you trade. But let your eyes be on this level. There are institutional liquidity pools on this level for you to use as a guide in your trading. Watch this level on British Pound USD. Remember, draw on liquidity for us in liquidity narrative is the upside. But we watch this level to see exactly what price is going to do to give us an entry as there are liquidity pools on this level. So moving next to our next pair, which is our Euro USD. Also, we'll be taking that from a weekly perspective in Euro USD to see exactly the daily range we have. Right, on our Euro USD, this is our weekly charts. What has price been doing? Sorry for too many lines on this. Like you said, is liquidity narrative. We are just moving out the areas we believe there are liquidities. So on Euro USD price, apparently what the price did last week, price ran into the fair value gap as at last week. What is next for us on price? Will price come down or price go up on Euro USD? Remember, these things are step by step. Price will come down, price will go up, but they have step by step of doing that as price run into this level on Euro USD. So let's look at our daily range also. Remember, this level, this high and this low on Euro USD. Apparently price is on the discount level within our daily range, but does not mean we should just start buying. There are levels that price will respect, and those are the reason we are mapping out those level. So let's drop on the daily time frame after price fill the fair value gap on the weekly time frame. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was a 5 days, the last that makes up the week trading. So price ran back, respected this other block on the daily time frame of the Euro USD and started to go up before filling this gap. So what is next for us on Euro USD? So we have a new order block, which is this level. Price also came back as at Friday. So this is what probably ICT would call to seek and destroy. So price filled this level, came back, run into this order block on the daily time frame. What is next for us on Euro USD? If we drop on a lower time frame, let's see exactly what happened on those levels. So this is it on the one hedge. Apparently, price dropped into the level we wanted it to drop as at last week, filled those level, the other block, and then price rallied up and came back to the other block and fill the fair value gap on the weekly time frame, giving us fulfillment of draw on liquidity, creating a new draw on liquidity for us on the daily time frame, which is this new high, creating a new high, which is this new high we are looking at. So if we drop back on the lower time frame, 15-minute time frame, preferably for us. So looking at this level, what is price going to do? We want to see price coming back to clear those liquidities. So we've mapped the areas we are watching price to return back, maybe clear this liquidity before it could continue to pull to the net draw on liquidity. So first draw on the first liquidity pool, we are looking at this level. It might get back to this other block or might apparently get back to this level, but these areas are the areas we've mapped out for price to return and respect before continue to go up. Price will get back to this level because liquidity lies on this level. This is the other block on the daily time frame, which it might respect at the second time. Liquidity lies here, liquidity lies here. We have liquidity lies here. It might even run back to fill the fair value gap on this 15-minute time frame before it continue to go up. Or apparently it might get to this level. Remember, it's a new month and price might drop well before it could continue to go up. But these are the areas that the institutional roadmap aligns. So we mapped out those liquidity for you to watch into those level and see what the price action, the language of the price action before you can take a trade in those levels. So we watch this level this week and see exactly what price we're doing on this level, starting from the Nasdaq, the Euro USD, the Nasdaq, the British pound, and the Euro USD. So These are the levels you have. You have them completely. We completely mapped out the weekly levels for this week. Remember, trade the map, not your opinion. We always say this. Always remember to respect the liquidity levels and your higher time frame structure. We will review this as the week ends after the week trading. Until then, we'll say this: map liquidity first and always choose your structure over speculation. Here from Liquidity Narrative, trade safe. Thank you.